Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. A wise person should have money in their head, but not in their heart. Try your best to be to others as you would wish to be treated yourself. And you will find that this is the shortest way to benevolence. What is evil to one at one time becomes good at another time to somebody else. The skillful artist will not alter his measures for the sake of a stupid workman. You are lonely not because no one needs you, but because you care about who is next to you. Great results can be achieved with small forces. Wheels of justice grind slow, but grind fine. Time is a created thing. To say I don't have time is like saying I don't want to. A man must be big enough to admit his mistakes, smart enough to profit from them, and strong enough to correct them. Ultimate excellence lies not in winning every battle, but in defeating the enemy without ever fighting. You can't trust a man who has nothing to lose. Do not act as if you are going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. We are like the herb which flourisheth most when trampled upon. The speed of your success is limited only by your dedication and what you're willing to sacrifice. It is easy to love your friend, but sometimes the hardest lesson to learn is to love your enemy. An enemy is a friend who knows too much about you. Plan for what is difficult while it is easy. Do what is great while it is small. Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life. When you're good to others, you're best to yourself. If he sends reinforcements everywhere, he will be weak everywhere. Beware of sugar that is mixed with poison. Beware of the fly that sat on a dead snake. 5 things never to share with anyone: your problems, your projects, your ideas, your mistakes and regrets from the past, your income. The chief danger in life is that you may take too many precautions. Disorder came from order. Fear came from courage. Weakness came from strength. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, and compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. New beginnings are disguised as painful endings. The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for his own. A truly good person doesn't dwell on her goodness. Thus, she can be good. A person of false goodness never forgets her goodness. Thus, her goodness is always false. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Time is a created thing. To say, "I don't have time," is like saying, "I don't want to." Because one believes in oneself, one doesn't try to convince others. Because one is content with oneself, one doesn't need others' approval. Because one accepts oneself, the whole world accepts him or her. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Be careful what you water your dreams with. Water them with worry and fear, and you will produce weeds that choke the life from your dream. Water them with optimism and solutions, and you will cultivate success. Kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. If you knew how rarely we are understood correctly, you would be silent more often. He who moves not forward goes backward. You can easily judge a man's character by how he treats those who can do nothing for him. Mountains cannot be surmounted except by winding paths. If you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. If you treat an individual as he is, he will remain how he is. But if you treat him as if he were what he ought to be and could be, he will become what he ought to be and could be. The most ridiculous desire is the desire to please everybody. Doubt can only be removed by action. Too many parents make life hard for their children by trying too zealously to make it easy for them. Talent is formed in silence, character in stormy disturbances of light. Everything is hard before it is easy. If each of us sweeps right under our feet, the whole world will be clean. Give a man a purpose worth living for, and he can survive in any situation. To be pleased with one's limits is a wretched state. Love is an ideal thing. Marriage, a real thing. One always has enough time if one applies it well. It is better to make an approximately correct decision than a precise mistake. What is not started today is never finished tomorrow. Catch a good mood. It so rarely visits us. Everybody wants to be somebody, but nobody wants to grow. There are people who never make mistakes because they don't want to do it. Nothing is worth more than this day. Nothing shows a man's character more than what he laughs at. No one knows what his powers are until he uses them. The way you see people is the way you treat them, and the way you treat them is what they become. True greatness begins with understanding your own insignificance. There is more to hopeless slavery than the slavery of those slaves who consider themselves free from fetters. When a person thinks deeply and seriously, he has a bad time among the general public. A creation of importance can only be produced when its author isolates himself. It is a child of solitude. The greatest evil that can befall a man is that he should come to think ill of himself. Our friends show us what we can do. Our enemies teach us what we must do. Destiny grants us our wishes, but in its own way, in order to give us something beyond our wishes. Do not give in too much to feelings, overly sensitive heart is an unhappy possession on this shaky earth. Of all the thieves, idiots are the most harmful. They steal our time and mood from us.